Okay, in our film music composition, I've chosen to compose for the film Penguins. All right, so what we should have is just a nice steady pulse down here, and up here I've put my chords. Okay, just have a listen to it. Now my chords are like this. In our last video, in our last lesson, we've got an A there, 2 notes above a C, and then an E. So there should be 3 notes sitting on top of each other like this in your chords, okay? And I've chosen to put my chords going down because at this stage in this scene, the penguins are falling out of the plane, so they're going down. So have a listen. Okay, now what we're going to do today is we're going to add what's called a motif. And you should have learned the definition of a motif is just a very short melodic fragment, a very short melody. And quite often in a film, a short melody that might tell us when a certain character is happening or a certain situation is happening. It can be a melody that, is for that character or for that scene, okay, only, all right? So what we're going to do first of all is the guitar symbol up here, parts, and we're going to add part. Okay, now we can choose these instruments, but it needs to be for a melody. So we don't want percussion. So I'm going to say now brass. If you say brass, this is what I'm going to choose. I click on that arrow and it gives me all these brass instruments. Now the baritone, the tuba, they're very low sounding instruments. A trumpet's a fairly bright sounding instrument. French horn's a bit mellow, okay? So I'm going to choose a trumpet as the sound I want. And you don't have to do this, but you can. Over here in parts, I can slide the trumpet because it's going to be my melody. It just looks a bit better that I've got my beat down here, my chords in the middle, and my trumpet on top. That's just how I'm used to working. Then when you've done that, you can close your parts, okay? Now, look at these notes here, or this one and this one, and in our trumpet, okay, just be careful you don't put a note way above there. Click once there to put our cursor on our trumpet part, and I'm going to put a note on that second space, just like in my chord. And then I'm going to put that top note up there, so my motif is starting with a jump of 5 notes, and it's using this note, okay? And I might put my cursor back there and start coming down. Now that's okay as a motif. Okay, so that's a motif, but I want it to be a bit, now I've got to hit edit. Whenever I've been playing it, I've got to hit edit to change it. I'm going to make this note shorter, so look for this duration word here, and I'm going to choose an 8th note. Okay, and move my cursor there because I want to put the next note here, and it will automatically make it an 8th note. And by the way, people always ask me, how do I get these notes to join together? When they're 8th notes and you put 2 together, they'll automatically join together, okay? Quavers, they will join together. Okay, so I've got these notes running down, but I'm mainly using the notes out of this chord here. Okay, so what if I do the same thing, but I'm going to use, I need a quarter note there, so while that's lit up, I press on quarter note up here, we'll crotch it, and then I'm going to go, so that note. Okay, you don't have to do this, but this is what I'm doing. I'm using the notes out of the chords, and you can put some, these are called passing notes, okay? So they're running down to the next note, okay? And we're almost there. Now I might then do the same here, go 8th note. Okay, and there we go. I've got my motif, 2 bars long. And just very quickly, you can either compose a new motif down here on the next line, okay, and it doesn't have to be as complicated or as many notes as that. It can be quite simple, all right? But here's a little idea you can do as well. I could do this copy, paste, and move it down a step because the chord's moving down a step. Copy, paste, move it down too. Let's have a listen to that. And when I'm playing it, when I hit play, this thing comes up mixer. Going to make my trumpet a bit louder and my violin a bit softer. Okay, let's have a listen to that. Okay, so there's my motif and I've extended it a bit.